On the 15th of September, senior Treasury and Finance professionals gathered for this year's Women in Treasury and Finance EMEA Forum. The event was hosted by Sophie Jackson, CEO, and Meg Coates, Publisher and Operations Director, Treasury Today Group, and attracted over 200 people keen to share a unique perspective on the personal and professional challenges that women face at work. The event began with a networking reception and fireside chat between Sophie and Madeleine McQueen, coach and founder of Magnificently You Limited, in a truly inspiring conversation that was often referred back to later in the day. After this, Sophie opened the awards ceremony by highlighting Treasury Today Group's commitment to the advancement of women in the industry. She explained how the Within Awards programme celebrates women changing corporations from within and is the beating heart of Treasury Today's Women in Treasury platform, established over a decade ago. The Within Awards have also recently expanded to include the Gender Agnostic Award for Champion of Change and a new Leading Light category introduced by Sophie.
This award is also gender agnostic and allows us to welcome submissions for those working in financial institutions who shine as beacons of inspiration, empowering others and driving lasting change in DEI.
Meg added how the judging panel had been astounded by the quality of this year's submissions.
We were blown away by the sheer quality and diversity of our nominees, who represented an array of organisations, communities, socio-economic backgrounds, languages and more. It is humbling to learn of their personal journeys and a privilege to hear their stories.
After the awards, moderator Caroline Stockman kicked off the panel session. Caroline began by exploring the role of women helping other women get a rung on the career ladder.
So I'm going to ask each of my esteemed panellists to tell us a little bit about themselves, a bit of their background, their journey, and also why they feel passionate about supporting other women. So perhaps I'll start right down at the end with Amber.
Sure. So firstly, a good afternoon to everyone here. So my name is Amber Morshed. I'm currently at JP Morgan. I've been within the banking and treasury industry for over 20 years now, starting out my career in foreign exchange on the FX markets desk for about 10 years. And then the last 10 years, I've been within the transaction banking and cash management space. So just a little bit about me, and I think it's always fundamental, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm here today and why I think this is important is because there's probably been a few leaders in my career and in my lifetime that took a chance on me, right? And there are some times within your own teams, you're within your own organizations, where you have to take a chance on someone to make a difference. And I think the more we're able to give it to others, the more likely we are to pass it on, right? So I guess my one piece here today for us all is that the more that we can give it to, then that multiplier effect happens.
Next, Caroline explored the role of coaching and mentoring. Cara explained that she is involved in a coaching initiative at HSBC that advises people find a mentorship network that acts like a corporate board overseeing their career.
Think about yourself as not necessarily a business, but as think of yourself as an enterprise and what you need, right? So you think of, a CEO as a board of directors, and what's on there. There's people that can give you each different skill that you don't have yourself. Sometimes I see people and they'll have 3 mentors from the same business line, from the same team, and it's like, oh great. Yeah, but if suddenly you want a job in a different region or a different business, very hard to pivot then and I'm going to start again with this team.
Amberine said that the successful diversity programs that truly avoid groupthink and cookie-cutter candidates must start from the grassroots.
I don't want a cookie-cutter team where everyone comes from the same university studying the same subject, because we're never challenging ourselves to think differently, right? Some of the best teams that I've had the opportunity to work have come from this program, individuals coming from this program, or from the military, or from the athlete scheme, and they bring a totally different mindset, attitude, hunger, energy into the team. And I think when we really think about diversity in its truest form, it has to start a lot sooner, has to be varied, but we all have an accountability to kind of contribute towards that.
Fellow panellist and award winner Lata Gulapali, who supports Indian women in rural areas run their own business, spoke about the importance of women learning to use their voice. Lata said change requires a combative mindset, courage, self-awareness, and learning to find a way around to overcome barriers.
We have to find a way around. Many times we have these walls in front of us. I feel it's not worth spending time breaking these walls. We can just find a way around it. Be the water, flow around it, and you will find a way.
Later, panellists shared other strategies for coping in challenging working environments. Women should recognise that their situation and lives change through the years, impacting resilience and competency. For example, motherhood, the menopause, or changes in women's personal or financial life can impact how women show up at work. Caroline turned to Joanna Bonnet, Group Treasurer, Stauman Group, for insights.
Joanna, turning to you around challenges when you or maybe your mentees are facing a brick wall, what are your thoughts about how far you push it, or is there a time when it's sensible just to say, I'm going somewhere else? And we did talk a little bit also about values and being a place where you're happy with the values around you. So perhaps you could just expand on that for us.
Absolutely, and I think it's really important to realise every person's situation is different. And you as yourself, your situation changes over time as well. So what might have been right for you 5 years ago is no longer right for you today, and then what will be right today is obviously not right in 10 years. People's financial situations at home change, whether they've got caring responsibilities, etc. And all of this feeds into how resilient and confident you are, your physical and mental health of the day.
In another strategy, panellists advised on the importance of a career plan B. Amberine kicked off the discussion.
Gone are the days just because you've been in a seat for a number of years, somehow you're owed a promotion or you think you should get a promotion, right? And I think this ultimately what this always boils down to is, and we talked a little bit about it, and Madeline kind of mentioned it a little earlier, which is around do you really love the job? Do you really want the promotion? I mean, is it really kind of oozing out on you? Is it that obvious that you're passionate, that you're delivering? Because usually if you are, and you're doing it year over year, usually that promotion does come.
Cara shared that over the course of her career, she has learnt to ask herself if a specific role is helping her and if she is still learning. It has taught her to be selfish about her own career needs. She no longer seeks to please everyone, in an approach that has powered her forward.
Women especially, and I hate to say it, do a lot of the nice to do work, but not the critical stuff that gets noticed, right? I'm a parent, my time is limited, so I have to really choose what I'm gonna focus on, and I weigh it up all the time. Is that a good thing for me to do? Is that a good trip for me to go on? Is that a good event for me to do? Because there's not an infinite amount of time in the day or in the week or in the years.
Panellists also reflected on the importance of staying true to their values. For Amberine, this meant batting away criticism when she decided to change roles.
I made a pivot in my career from markets into transaction banking, and I remember at the time someone sort of saying to me, are you selling yourself short? Are you not ambitious anymore? Why are you doing that, right? And I remember kind of saying to them, how do you know what I'm ambitious about? Why is my career define me as ambitious or not? Can I not be ambitious about being, a great parent, a great spouse? Does that make me antiquated because I want to be that? And I think the answer is no, because it kind of ultimately boils down to your values and what makes you happy.
Cara added that authenticity is something we often hide. We strive to show colleagues that we are happy and shy away from revealing elements we find more challenging, especially early in our careers.
I think earlier on in my career, while I appeared authentic and I was, happy to be there and having fun and socialising and everything, I had other things inside that I was maybe not sharing that made it more difficult for me.
Caroline wrapped up the panel, thanking contributors Latta, Joanna, Cara and Amberine.
Thank you very much for being a great audience. Thank you, though, to my panellists. Thank you.
Thanks also to HSBC and JP Morgan, lead sponsors of the event, which was also supported by Bank of America, Barclays, BNY, Goldman Sachs, Kyriba, Monex Europe, Santander and Treasury Spring. If you would like to hear more of our podcast episodes, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you would like to be part of our Women in Treasury community, please join our LinkedIn group.